He emerged to break the hold on men's tennis owned by Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal, then created his own vivid story. There are two sides to Novak Djokovic, whom many people regard as being in the top group of tennis players to ever play. One is the Joker, a man who is full of fun, with his hilarious impersonations of other superstars of the circuit, like Maria Sharapova. The other is the serious side, the killer competitor, with the greatest return of serve in the history of the game. He is combative, ruthless, indomitable, a player with no apparent weaknesses. Djokovic, native of Serbia, who went to Germany as a young boy to learn his craft, had won 12 Grand Slam singles titles to the end of 2016, with the chance of more to come. He'd held the world #1 ranking for a whopping 223 weeks in 3 separate stints. From the 2011 season, when he won 3 of the 4 Grand Slam titles, to early 2016, he utterly dominated the men's game. Particularly significant was his victory over Scotland's Andy Murray at the 2016 French Open in Paris. It meant that combined with the 2 singles championships he had won in the back half of 2015 and the 2016 Australian Crown, he held all 4 titles at the same time.
Well, congratulations to Novak on everything he's achieved this year. You know, obviously at the time when I lost to Novak in the French Open final, I spoke a bit about it at the time, but to hold all 4 Grand Slams at once, like he did earlier this year, is an incredible achievement, very, very special, and something I don't think we'll see for a long time in the sport.
The so-called Nole Slam, it became known as, taking a slice of Djokovic's nickname Nole, a contraction of Novak in Serbian language. Not even Federer nor Nadal in their pomp had managed to hold all 4 trophies at the same time. In fact, only 2 men, Rod Laver of Australia and Don Budge of the United States, have done it before. Djokovic had been desperate for his first French title because it gave him the set of Grand Slams, becoming the 8th male player to secure at least one of the Australian, French, US, and Wimbledon titles. 3 times before that victory in Paris in 2016, he had lost the final at Roland Garros, twice to Nadal, and once to Stan Wawrinka of Switzerland. It's a very special moment, possibly the biggest moment in my career. Federer and Nadal, as popular as they are great, and superb ambassadors for their sport, were hard acts for anyone to follow. For Djokovic, who carried a certain pragmatism, it was difficult, and he has never been as loved as the 2 aging legends of the game. But he certainly won their respect and the admiration of the sporting world. In fact, he demanded it.
I have so much motivation and a lot of sources of inspiration to keep working, practicing. I love the sport. I love going on the practice court. It's not it doesn't bother me. It doesn't put a weight on my shoulders. Of course, I have days when I don't feel that inspired to hit for 2 hours, but I look at the big picture.
Still to come on the Immortals, Novak's breakthrough win in Australia.
That's the first thing I tried when
When I came here 7 years ago, I think was the first time, or 8 years ago, I played Wimbledon, and first thing I tried was strawberries and cream, and that's the most famous thing about Wimbledon, right? So I had to try it, but.
Novak Djokovic was on a slow burn as a player until the 2008 Australian Open in Melbourne. In the previous 3 Grand Slams in 2007, he'd reached either the semi-finals or the final, only to fall short. Roger Federer, the all-court master, and Rafael Nadal, the clay court king, were proving tough to shift at the top. In fact, they had won the previous 11 consecutive slams, leading into Melbourne 2008. Djokovic broke the nexus, toppling the great Federer in a semi-final, and then Jo-Wilfried Tsonga of France in the final to grab his first Grand Slam title. It was the breakthrough that he had been seeking. After 2 years without winning a major in 2009 and 2010, he exploded in 2011, winning the Australian, Wimbledon, and US Opens, and in July reached a #1 world ranking for the first time. He'd also earned hero status in his native Serbia, taking that country to its first ever Davis Cup victory in 2010, defeating France in the final and kicking off huge celebrations in Belgrade. The baton, so it appeared, had been passed, and Djokovic was by far the best player in the world. He won at least 1 slam in 2012, 2013, and 2014, before his all-conquering 2015 season, when he was as dominant as at any time in his career. In each of those 4 years, from 2012, he had won the season-ending Tour Championship. He reached the finals of all 4 slams in 2015, and it was only his shock defeat by Wawrinka at the French Open that denied him the fabled Grand Slam of all 4 majors in a single year. Ironically, Djokovic had already jumped the hurdle that it appeared he needed to clear, beating the mighty Spaniard Nadal in the quarters, one of just 2 matches Nadal had lost at Roland Garros to the end of 2017. Robin Soderling of Sweden had been the only other player to conquer Rafa in Paris back in 2009. It is a badge of honor for Djokovic, who never had the luxury of playing in a soft era. He has been surrounded by all-time greats for his entire career. Of course, he's unequivocally one of them.
These are the tournaments that you always dream of winning, and this is the tournament that count the most in our sport. Those are the ones that are on your wall. You know, when you're a kid growing up and imagining yourself to be a champion in tennis, and you want to lift US Open, Wimbledon, Roland Garros, or Australian Open. Those are the 4 biggest ones.
Novak Djokovic's 12 Grand Slam singles titles to the end of 2017 put him in the most elite company, in the top 4 men ever. Roger Federer has the landmark, reaching 19 slams after 2017 wins at the Australian Open, then a remarkable 8th Wimbledon crown, 4 years after his previous victory in one of the Big 4 events. Rafael Nadal is chasing hard, winning a 10th French Open in 2017 and then the US for 16 slam titles, while Pete Sampras with 14 slams is the only other man ahead of Djokovic. It is a race that has some way to run, and Novak Djokovic is hammering away. But make no mistake, he is aware of it, even if he does not like to overthink it. Djokovic turned 30 in May 2017, and for the first time in a few years, found himself questioning his game, maybe even harboring a few doubts. He lost his world #1 ranking to Andy Murray at the end of 2016, and was forced to withdraw from the second half of the 2017 season with a persistent elbow injury. Certainly, it would be a brave or crazy person to discount Novak Djokovic. He's too much of an immortal for that.
First and foremost is a passion and love for the sport, and just the joy that I find in playing tennis. That's the reason why I picked up the racket when I was young, and it's the reason why I'm here today with you, because I just enjoy playing it. I love it.